Hello everyone, hopefully you'll be able to pick up the audio on this. I thought I would do a video upload, just doing a bit of a general chit chat and also showing you how I do the painting for the Jurassic Park pieces. The reason I'm speaking softly is because the fiance is asleep next door, so I can't talk too loudly, and hopefully, like I say, the audio will be picking up on this. So what we're looking at here is the Nash magnet. These will be going out to people that have placed orders for the singular versions, but I've got about 2, 4, 6, 8 of these in total to paint, and there's 2 more in the castings that I've done recently, so they'll need to be primed and painted up. As you can see, I've already pre-painted the base on this one, so it's got that black and red colour scheme going in the background. And the reason that I do the background first is so that I can just really get into the nooks and crannies on the skull. Just pick up all those details that I sculpted in. Now what I'll end up doing is I'll do the primary surroundings with the larger brush, but then I go in with a finer brush just to get all the edges, just to make sure there's no kind of like seepage. And I don't put it on thick either, because what I don't want to do is to end up with a big blob that's potentially going to spread in all the places I don't want it to. Now, some of you might be wondering what the progress is with the toast magnets. All 100 of those are now cast up. I just need to sand the backs down and trim the edges so that they're more comfortable to handle, because the problem with the resin is that even when you cast it and you sculpt a soft edge in there, you still get like a sharp edge, which to the majority of people won't be a problem, but if a young child gets hold of it and just happens to drop it in the wrong way, it could cause a nasty cut. I have cut myself on resin before now, and it's not pleasant. Hopefully the camera's picking all this up quite nicely. But this is literally as fast as it goes. As I've said to James, you know, I'm literally one person, you know, doing the job of what would normally be done in a factory of, you know, different teams and, you know, more than 10 people on a table. And there's been a couple of people that have messaged asking, you know, what's the delay in the order, and it's literally a case of, you know, I shot myself in the foot basically by having 10 of each design available when I didn't. But at the same time, you know, for the past like year and a half I've been doing this, I was lucky if I got like, you know, 10 to 20 orders in a couple of months. So the fact that this many people have like bought all this stuff, you know, I'm greatly appreciative of it, but it is a lot of pressure on me, especially when I'm trying to do a master's degree. And I know a lot of you don't really understand how important the degree is to me, but in terms of wanting to make sure that I'm doing the career and the job that I want, you know, this is what I want to do as like a 9 to 5 job, but the animation stuff is what I want to make a career out of. You know, this is something I would like eventually to kind of like be something that I could do between animation jobs, and, you know, maybe even make a a business out of it, that I can hire people to do this sort of thing, so that everyone's still getting the magnet designs that they want, and they're also getting high quality paint jobs out of it. Because I definitely don't want to sell this idea off to, like overseas companies where it's just sloppily made and half the paint job's missing, or it's just been slapped on there. I want these to be like the Mattel equivalent and not the Hasbro, if that's a good analogy to use. So yeah, so the toasts are, as I say, they're all cast up now, so they just need sanding back. I'm trying to get on with as much of the singular orders as possible so that I can get those out of the way, because a predominant amount of those are the singular orders, which does include toast. But I'm going to see if I can double my workflow. The idea being that if I can do paint jobs that are similar to each other, like I did with these, I primed and sprayed these around the same time when I was prepping the chrome etched variations. Seeing that they have a black base as well, and hopefully I've actually got some dark stones in there as well, so that I can get the Nashes and the Billies and the chrome etchings out first, and then I can focus on the other ones, because I think a majority of them have already got, like the Jurassic Park colour schemes. I've got a couple of those left over, and I think some people have ordered those in either collections or individuals, which will be going out. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff to go through, and Etsy doesn't really give you a clear way of saying, right, okay, so how many orders have this design, how many orders have that design. And you have to literally go through every single order and see if you've actually got yourself covered. But I think what I'll probably do from now on, just so it makes my workload easier, and also it doesn't stop you guys from waiting too long, because as I've said before, I don't like that you guys have to wait so long for something like this. And I really appreciate that some people do understand, and they're happy to wait as long as it takes. But I also understand that, people are impatient, people want this sort of thing yesterday. They're not prepared to wait, and they're not prepared to invest in something where they feel like they're getting conned or cheated. And I understand that entirely, because at the end of the day, you want to make. I mean, I've ordered some Harryhausen books, 2 years ago, and I'm still waiting to hear back on that. And that's how patient I am to get the books that I want, and not just have something rushed out because I wanted it like 2 years ago. But again, everybody has different assumptions on how these things should be done. I mean, if you really want to kind of like split hairs, Chronic Collectibles, they do pre-orders, and sometimes these things don't come out for 6 months, and they have got a factory of people working on these things. They're not like 2 people in a shed. So you've got to have perspective on these things. This isn't a factory operated machine. This is one person in a spare bedroom doing something that he likes but wants to share it with the world. Alright, I think I've got a majority of the larger areas. I've not done the crest there, so I'll get that done. Okay, so I'll just clean the brush up, and then we'll start doing the finer versions. Right, so that's the easy bit. Now comes the tricky part. Okay. To really concentrate on this bit, because as easy as teeth are to sculpt, they are an absolute nightmare to paint. And what I'll probably end up doing is going over all these individual bits again, just to make sure that there's no red coming up from underneath, because sometimes the chrome paint has a habit of thinning itself out where it shouldn't be, and you end up with patchy silver, which isn't really what the effect I want to go for, but I'm a perfectionist. So this is where my autism tends to really work in my favour. I can just pick out all the details where they need to be. Okay. So hopefully by watching this, assuming you're not bored to death, you'll have a bit more appreciation for how much effort I put into these things. Because I think a lot of people, they just see the final product and they just assume that it didn't take that much time. But considering this video's like, what, 15 minutes already? And all I've done is paint this skull. And hopefully people will appreciate it. Because one thing I still want people to do is buy the DIY stuff. Not just because it's it's easier for me to produce them. But, I think people have a better appreciation of these things when they do it themselves. And they can see how long it takes to do something, rather than just assuming that, it just clicks your fingers and it comes into existence. Because these things do take time. It's like with video editing, all takes time. There is no button in life to make these things just go faster. Should have put some talc on that sticky patch. Shame I can't edit myself really, otherwise I'd put some music in. I do need to try and get hold of some kind of like royalty-free scores or music or something. Because as much as I don't mind sitting here in silence, I can probably guess the rest of you don't. Okay. It's coming to the final phases now. And it's just basically just looking for all the red patches that shouldn't be around. Tidying up all the edges. just a few more areas, and then this is effectively done. Okay, I think it's pretty much there. Just one last check. Let's see if it's there. It's the tooth actually. Right, well, I think that is pretty much it. So, there you have one semi-complete Nash. Now, I need to let this dry for about 12 to 24 hours just to make sure that the paint is definitely dry, and then once I've got all the others painted up, that will be set for priming in the, not priming, that's the wrong word, spraying up in the matte varnish, and then those will go out as soon as possible. So if you've managed to hang around for nearly 30 minutes watching me paint a skull, hopefully you'll appreciate how much effort I put into these things, and yeah, hopefully you've not so much enjoyed the process. It's not really enjoyable watching paint dry, but yeah, thank you very much for coming by and watching the video.